Alright, I want to share with you guys the story of how I made it from Herald to Guardian in Dota 2. As you may know, I started Dota 2 with the A to Z challenge. I tried to play every hero once, and I did, and then I got a taste for all of them, all 123 heroes. By the time I was nearly done with my A to Z, I was ready to start playing ranked, because I had unlocked 100 hours of gameplay. And briefly before actually finishing the A to Z, I started to play ranked already. So how did I make it from Herald to Guardian? Well, first let's describe my skills as a Herald player. I played my calibration games and they looked a little something like this. Starting with Dazzle, right here. I started with Dazzle, then Chaos Knight, Razor, Leshrac, Razor, Meepo, and Hoodwink. I lost my first ranked game with Dazzle, right here on the 28th of September. Then I used my trusty Chaos Knight, which I had accrued some wins with already in my second calibration game. Went to Razor, Leshrac, heroes on position 3 and 2 that I felt like I could do pretty well with, but we kept losing. Took a win with Razor, thought I'll abuse my RTS mechanics, my macro skills, Meepo, and my team just totally didn't know how to play with it. Yeah. Plus, probably I didn't know how to play it. Although I was farming a lot and getting a lot of net worth, I didn't know how to kill anyone or end it. And eventually, in a later Meepo game, I learned to use, is it Aghanims or the Shard? I think it's the Shard, with which you can do Dig. And that was useful, but here I would also just die whenever they focus one of my Meepos. Hoodwink was a hero that was working well for me. Then I tried, on the next stream, I went for Death Prophet, Lifestealer, Leshrac. But suffice to say, I only won 4 out of my 10 calibration games. And I had lost a bunch of unranked games as well. So I ended up actually calibrating 680 MMR. 680 MMR in Herald. So how did I pick myself up out of that and go to Guardian? Well, some people are saying Jesus himself, Jesus, God, the Holy Saint, and Mother Mary themselves reached down from the skies and touched my bum, making me real strong and powerful and winning all the games thanks to luck and divine intervention. But if you think that I did pull myself up by my bootstraps, then here's how I did it. At first, as you can see, I lost more games. Then I started playing Spectre. Now what Spectre did for me was it entirely bypassed one part of the game for me that I didn't need to think about anymore. When you're new to Dota 2, and I think we can all agree that someone on 150 to 200 games is still extremely green behind their ears and very new to the game, when you're new, there's so many different aspects of the game coming at you. For instance, itemization, general laning mechanics, laning strategy, pressuring lanes, objectives like tower attacks, tower defense, Roshan. Then there's team fights. Then there's prioritization on who you should take out. And there's kill streaks and first blood and bounties and power runes. There's so much coming at you, it can be really overwhelming. And initially, one of the most overwhelming things for me was itemization. It still can be pretty confusing and not black and white sometimes, even to this day. Even though I'm extremely high level, almost immortal, almost TI winning level, I'm Archon 4 at the moment. And despite being so extremely high level, which I have to say it's sarcasm, because sometimes people, they hear this and they actually take it for Bible. Yeah, that was a joke. I don't think it's high level yet, but not everyone gets my sarcasm. So anyway, the point is, even though I'm here now and I was Herald then, it can still be challenging, team fights and items. So being able to skip out on aspects of the game, having cheat heroes essentially, can be really helpful to manage the overwhelmingness. So with Spectre, I still needed to be good at last hitting and denying, at least better than my Herald opponents and allies. But I didn't need to worry about when to start gravitating towards my team. When I play Tidehunter, I look at the clock, I look at the cooldowns, I see, hey, 30 seconds away until Ravage is available again, my ultimate. And I need to start making my way, connecting with my team to make sure that if a fight breaks out, I'm using the cooldown resource of my ultimate as best as possible. But with Spectre, all I need to do is make sure that I have 500 mana and full health, and then I can just press R and join my team at any time. So if anything, by 8 seconds left to my ult being available, I could do a teleport home, heal in the fountain, and then just join the fight with R. And it gets even easier once you got Aghanim's Scepter, which I made sure is part of my build every time, so I could haunt over on a 40-second cooldown to a single target. Additionally, Spectre has 2 passives, so that made it easy for me to passively contribute in the fight. You hit me, it hurts you. Great, because I get hit a lot. I get bullied a lot. And all I had to manage was Q, Shadow Dagger, and I managed it very poorly. And it was still good enough to advance from the position of Herald to Guardian. And if you look at my my Spectre win rate, you can see that I managed to use it. Now, I haven't played her much since coming out of Herald, but it was good enough win rate right here. So that's nice. That was good for me. And then once I got to Guardian, I started to focus more on other heroes that would likewise skip certain gameplay mechanics. For instance, you don't see it here, but I would start to play Tidehunter, because with Tidehunter you can't die, which is really nice as well. With Naga Siren, you also play a very selfish playstyle. Skywrath, I would play him as support or as mid, neither of which I think he's necessarily ideal at. But because he has his own self-composed kill combo, Skywrath was another hero that it was easy to start doing well with. The hardest part is where I play more, let's say, teamwork heroes. Let's say I don't think it would be good for me when I was Herald to start playing something like Riki Position 5, just to name a wild example. Riki Position 5, or what else? Like, let's say if I went for Omni Knight. I don't think that would be the right call for me at that time. So that's my story of how I tried to get out of Herald to Guardian. Of course I did other things too. I watched my own replays. I tried to learn mechanics. Sometimes I got coaching. And some people say, yeah, you were very privileged to receive the high-level coaching. And that's also true. I have been. It's been great. But the good thing is I streamed all of it. So if you wanted to get that coaching too, you could get it vicariously through me. You can find it on my YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed this little anecdote. Next time I'll talk about how I made it from Guardian to, what was it called again? It's been so long ago. It's so far beneath me now, I don't remember the league names. Oh yes, that's cute. Remember when I was Crusader?